Believe it or not, this is the first time that I've ever really done anything like this. I've often stood up, if you like, for Filipinos who've been bashed by foreigners or bashed by foreign media. In fact, I've sent an open letter to Rappler recently and many other organisations like the BBC and any foreigner who's making fun of Filipinos or maligning them in any way. But this is an absolute exception, because this insult to a third of the population of the Philippines, 31 million Filipinos, have been insulted and degraded and disgusted by this absolute nobody, DJ Mo Twister. This Mohan, or whatever his name is, calls himself a Filipino. In fact, he's not even based in the Philippines. From what I can understand, he's based in Las Vegas and is in fact a Filam, or a Filipino American. I believe he's been on certain media stations and has been popular in the past. But you know what? When you call 31 million Filipino voters stupid, you have to look at yourself and you have to see who is the one who is stupid. Filipinos are such a caring, wonderful people who work very, very hard to support their relatives, to support their loved ones, and to do whatever they can in the Philippines to better their lives. This takes a great degree of intelligence. This takes intuition. Just because you don't agree with the political choices of these 31 million Filipinos, you're calling them stupid. It's an absolute insult. You should be utterly ashamed of yourself. I just don't understand why somebody has the gall to call his fellow countrymen stupid, just for their voting choices. We could say the same thing about voters of the opposition, but we would never do that. We would never, ever insult any Filipino voter. No Filipino voter is stupid whatsoever, whoever they vote for, whichever candidate they vote for. That is their democratic right. So many people have lost their lives fighting for that right to vote, that democracy, both here in the United Kingdom and in so many other countries. That's a sacred right, the right to choose who you wish to vote for. And all of this nonsense about disinformation and fake news and voters of BBM are somehow stupid is utter rubbish. Me personally, although I'm not a Filipino voter, I look at all of the candidates. I research, I do my own research, but me personally, I'm drawn to the personality of BBM. I'm drawn to the way that he presents himself, to his integrity, to how he presents himself in public. And that is the choice of people to make their own decision. But DJ Mo Twister, I really don't understand what you were doing. I don't understand how you've insulted a third of the entire population of the Philippines. Don't tell me none of your friends or none of your relatives are not voters of BBM as well. You're saying to me, out of all of your circle, both in America and in the Philippines, are you telling me that not one of them voted for Bongbong Marcos? So are you calling them stupid as well, It's just beggars belief, It's beyond belief that you would say such a thing. Here I am in the past. I've stood up for Filipinos when they've been bashed by foreigners or bashed by foreign media. But I really didn't think I would have to make a video against a Filipino, a people who I love, a people who I care for very much. I didn't think that a Filipino, or at least a Filipino American, would insult his own people, you know, his kababayan, his countrymen. I didn't think that would be possible. So before I end this video, I'd just like to say that I believe DJ Mo Twister, you owe the Philippines an apology. You owe the Filipino people an apology, and you owe BBM voters an apology. President BBM, or President-elect Bongbong Marcos, has won by a massive majority. People who care, people who want a better Philippines, and people who really have taken time to understand what he's all about, rather than listening to the fake news of the opposition, rather than branding him as a thief, or rather than saying all these horrible things, rather than a negative campaign that the opposition had been playing. You know, BBM only spoke about positivity. He only spoke about good of the Philippines, of unity. And I'm sure this unity would extend to you. I'm sure this unity would extend to all Filipinos, regardless of their political colours and regardless of whether they voted for him or not. Hi. Yeah, so that's all I have to say. And best wishes. And I just hope that you do apologise, DJ Mo Twister. I hope you are sorry for what you've said. And I know that sometimes people say things out of rage, or they say things because they're unhappy or they're triggered. But I suggest you make a public statement to apologise to the way that you've spoken about your fellow countrymen. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay Pilipinas.